Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Nick and Sharon have landed in a frightening situation. What with Kane having his assistant and security goon lock them up in a dilapidated room. As dire as the circumstances may seem, however, there's more to what's going on here than meets the eye. We were quite honestly shocked that Nick didn't fight harder to keep from being locked up, particularly since Sharon was taken hostage along with him and she had just survived being held captive by Martin Laurent mere months before. While Nick would undoubtedly been able to take down Kane's nerdy assistant in a confrontation, the goon had a gun, so what you're gonna do? Interestingly enough, Jack and Diane decided not to intervene when they saw Nick and Sharon being led away at gunpoint, probably wise on their behalf, but also curious given that this is a soap and powerful men like the Abbott are prone to injecting themselves into dangerous situations. After a bit of protest, Sharon and Nick were stuffed into a musty little room in the chateau and the door locked from the outside by Carter. After a lot of ineffective door pounding and hollering by Nick, the pair realized they were well and truly stuck. They tried to make themselves feel better by assuring each other that Jack and Diane would alert the others and that Victor would move heaven and earth to free them, but a traumatized Sharon being trapped will undoubtedly make things more dire and cause Nick to go all caveman. The truth is that there is a whole lot more to their situation than meet the eye, or should we say less. That's right, SOAPS readers, Schick isn't really as bad off as it might seem. In fact, they could have walked out of the closet-sized slammer mere moments after they were shoved in there. How, you might ask? Well, what Nick and Sharon, and seemingly the set designers, failed to notice is that the hinges are on the inside of the door. As this young and restless viewer pointed out, escape would actually be quite simple. As silly as it seems, we'll have to play along with the soap, believing that they're well and truly trapped until such time as something big goes down. And it's coming. What do you think will happen with Sharon and Nick? Vote. Genoa City has seen its fair share of shocking twists, forbidden romances, and devastating betrayals, but just when you think you've seen it all, The Young and the Restless proves there's always another secret waiting to explode. At the center of the latest emotional hurricane, none other than longtime fan favorites Nick Newman and Sharon Collins. For decades, fans have watched Nick and Sharon's rollercoaster love story unfold with all the turbulence of a Midwestern thunderstorm. From their early fairy tale romance in the 90s to their gut-wrenching losses and brief reconciliations, this couple has survived nearly everything. Or so we thought. But according to recent scenes, and a few behind-the-scenes hints, there's much more to Nick and Sharon's current entanglement than we've been led to believe. Could the next bombshell change the course of their story forever? Let's take a deep dive into what's really going on, and why things may never be the same. Act I, a familiar spark, or something else entirely. It all began innocently enough. Sharon, reeling from her cancer recovery and wrestling with the trauma of Ree's death, had seemingly found peace in her work at the crisis center. Nick, as always, was juggling Newman family drama, corporate wars, and his role as the moral compass of the Newman clan, a role he's never fully embraced, yet never seems able to shed. In recent weeks, we've seen the exes spending more time together, late-night coffee chats at Crimson Lights, quiet conversations about Faith's future, and moments heavy with nostalgia. To the casual observer, it might seem like a subtle rekindling of an old flame, but for longtime viewers, it all feels a little too easy. Why are Nick and Sharon suddenly so close again? Why now? Some fans have speculated that the writers are simply building toward yet another Schick reunion. But if you look closer, the subtext tells a more complicated story. Act 2, Sharon's Secrets and the Letters. She burned. Remember the box Sharon found tucked away in the back of her closet during that stormy night at the cottage? The one filled with old letters she claimed were just mementos. She burned them in the fireplace, but not before we saw the name Cameron scribbled on one of the envelopes. Cameron Kirsten, the man who terrorized her. The man she thought was dead. Of course, Cameron is dead, or so we're told. But soap logic has taught us never to believe someone's gone unless we see the body, and sometimes not even then. So why would Sharon be holding on to letters from a man who stalked and abused her? And why hide them from Nick? Unless there's something she isn't telling him. Could Sharon have had contact with someone tied to Cameron, a sibling, a child, a protege? Or was Cameron keeping secrets of his own that are only now coming to light? It's clear Sharon's not just revisiting old trauma. She's guarding something. And Nick's involvement might not be. Coincidence? Act 3. Nick's distraction or cover-up. Nick's recent behavior has also raised eyebrows. While he appears calm and supportive on the surface, his erratic schedule, sudden disappearances, and uncharacteristic silences suggest something deeper is going on. Just last week, he missed an important Newman Enterprises meeting, claiming he was handling something personal. Viewers noticed that same day he was spotted entering the back door of Sharon's cottage, visibly agitated, glancing over his shoulder. When he emerged 2 hours later, his expression was unreadable. Since then, he's been increasingly protective of Sharon, even going so far as to lie to his own family about her whereabouts during a security breach downtown. What's he hiding, and more importantly, who is he protecting? Some fans speculate that Nick and Sharon may be shielding someone, possibly someone dangerous, or entangled in a mystery that stretches far beyond their personal history. Could they be sitting on a secret that, if exposed, could put everyone they love at risk? Act 4. The return of Cassie, or something like her. No discussion about Nick and Sharon's twisted history would be complete without mentioning their late daughter, Cassie, and her twin, Mariah, who has carved out her own space in Genoa City's chaotic canvas. But recently, there have been subtle, almost eerie hints dropped about Cassie. A photograph falling off the mantel, Sharon waking up from a dream, whispering her daughter's name, Nick staring at Cassie's old journal, lost in thought. And then there was the stranger at the coffee house, a young woman with Cassie's smile, who Sharon thought she recognized for a split second before the girl disappeared into the crowd. Could it be a red herring, or something more? A long-lost sibling, a secret daughter, a vision, or something far more psychological, a sign that Sharon's reality is beginning to fracture under pressure? What if Nick knows the truth and is trying to protect Sharon from it? Act 5. The explosive theory no one wants to believe. Here's where things take a sharp, speculative turn, and where the fan theories turn into full-blown conspiracy. What if Nick and Sharon are already involved in something criminal? Not willingly, of course. But consider this. Sharon's past with Cameron Kirsten was violent, complicated, and unfinished. Nick's protective streak has led him down dark paths before. Remember how far he went to defend Faith during her cyberbullying ordeal. What if they're hiding a person, a child, a secret child of Cameron's? Or even Cassie's? Or worse, what if they've already done something irreversible? There's a wild theory floating around message boards that Sharon and Nick may have discovered someone lurking, a threat tied to Sharon's past, and taken matters into their own hands. A confrontation gone wrong, a buried body, a cover-up. Could their renewed closeness be a mask for mutual guilt? The way Nick clutches Sharon's hand when no one's looking, the way she flinches when someone mentions the police, the knowing glances they exchange when a certain song plays in the background. There's something they're not telling us, and it's only a matter of time before the dam bursts. Act 6. The Newman family factor. And let's not forget the Newman. WILDCARDS. Victor has always kept a suspicious eye on Sharon, never fully trusting her influence on Nick, especially after her various mental health episodes and entanglements with dangerous men. Victoria, too, has made her disapproval clear. But it's Adam who might end up blowing the whole thing wide open. Why? Because he knows Sharon like few others do. And lately, he's been watching her with increasing scrutiny. What if Adam uncovers the truth before anyone else? And what would he do with it? Would he protect Sharon out of love, or expose her to reclaim the moral high ground? Meanwhile, Faith's sudden return from college for a short break feels like anything but casual. Could she be drawn into the web? And what would happen if she stumbled upon her parents' secret? Act 7. The calm before the storm. As of this writing, the scenes between Nick and Sharon are getting heavier, emotionally, musically, even in lighting. There's a tension in the air, the kind that signals a coming storm. We've seen this setup before. On Y&R, when things get to calm, that usually means something's about to explode. So what's next? A body uncovered, a stranger returns, a letter revealed in probate court, a tragic accident that pulls the whole thing into the open. Whatever the reveal may be, one thing is certain: Nick and Sharon's story is far from over, and this time, it may change everything.